All right, we have a man who needs no introduction here. Chael P. Sonnen is on the program this Sunday. The only live sporting event on earth is going down. Submission Underground 12, live on UFC Fight Pass. Chael, good to see you. How are you?
What's happening, man? I'm doing great. I've been a little bit busy, I suppose, if I'm to be fair with you. How's everything with you? By the way, what are you at home? Look at you, Mr. Fancy Pants. Look at this office. This is great.
This is Command Center 1.0. We're actually Command Center 2.0 is under construction right now. You've inspired me with your setup there.
Oh, respect. I will take that compliment. Thank you very much.
So in terms of this Sunday, like you put on a bunch of these events over the years, but never in the middle of a global pandemic. So how would you describe what this buildup has been like from a promoter standpoint with the coronavirus spreading around?
I will share this with you. I am getting way too much credit, okay? This was never meant to be the only sporting event in the world and all these wonderful things. I appreciate you saying that because it sure makes it sound grandiose. Look, we were on the calendar. We got a date. I only know life one way, which is forward. I don't stay stuck. I don't go backwards. I go forward. It's all I know. We had an obligation. We gave our word we're going to do something to a lot of people, by the way. I mean, there's a big staff, there's a big production involved, and there's a lot of athletes and trainers and people that are excited. We gave our word, we're going to do something, we're going to do it.
How are you able to pull this off? Like, I know you're Chael Sonnen, and we shouldn't be surprised at this point, but how did you do this? How did you make this happen with everything going on?
I will tell you, there has been so many moving parts. You know, when you're in this business, like production's a big part of it and promotion's a big part of it. Then you have the actual athletes and the arm lock here and the chokehold there. I get all of that, but you're also in the regulation and compliance business. I mean, that's just what you have to be doing. When you get everything ready, you still have to turn to somebody else. And I know I'm using more MMA terms, but we put on a lot of MMA out here. Somebody else decides what those rules are. So when those rules keep changing constantly, day to day, I will tell you, it has been tough. It has been a very fun puzzle. The puzzle is almost complete. But it has definitely kept us on our toes. I think it's going to appear to you in a way like you've never seen. I don't know how much sport you've got to see or if I can even bring WWE into this. But they are one thing that has been able to go on and perform. And it looks so much different on camera, but I get it. Jimmy Fallon did a show the other day from his living room, and his kid climbs on as this great organic moment. I think a lot of things visually are changing, but I got to tell you, I've enjoyed some of the changes, in fairness.
I would agree with that in a lot of ways. And I know this card has changed a little bit with everything going on, you know, with injuries and the pandemic and everything. I know Carlos Condit's no longer on it. Roxanne Modafferi's not competing. But I think the Kevin Casey versus Craig Jones match, that's still intact as the main event. I saw Chris Lencioni is on the card. Guys like Jake Smith, Ben Eagley is on as well. So there's some changes, but you guys are coming in with the full card on Sunday. Is that accurate?
Oh, yeah, it's stacked. I mean, we kind of have a black belt or better is the policy. Everybody on it is a black belt, and then the or better part, if you will, you're either signed to Bellator or you're signed to the UFC. And when you talk about Kevin Casey versus Craig Jones, and I appreciate you bringing that up because that is a great match. I mean, we have gone out of our way to get Craig Jones beat. This guy is such a great guy. He's a handsome guy. He's so fun to work with behind the scenes. He's got a unique skill set, but he comes with a big paycheck and he doesn't spend a whole lot of time in there. I mean, he's getting guys like Rumble Johnson out of there in less than a minute. This guy is so dynamic, but Kevin Casey's a whole other deal. Kevin Casey is one of the original Rickson Gracie black belts. He used to work out with Craig Jones. Kevin never broke the deal of sharing what happened in the practice room, but Craig did. And Craig said, Kevin used to beat me.
I know, like, Dana White's been pretty upset because of questions and concerns that people have with these events. And it certainly isn't coming from a bad place or a negative place. We're in the middle of something that's kind of unprecedented right now. So there's questions that I feel need to be asked. For anyone who is questioning your thought process on putting this event on, the safety of the participants, et cetera, how do you respond to that criticism?
I think that it's very fair. I mean, we've gone out of our way. We brought in medical personnel. We brought in experts. We will have everybody quarantined. We will follow every single rule that there is, no matter how many times that rule changes between now and then. I think that it's very fair that people are concerned. I think that they should respect what's going on. I personally don't subscribe to everything stops and it tracks. And it does appear that those are your only two choices right now, right? You got a green light and you got a red light. Look, there's ways to do things that are safe. There's ways to do things where you're listening to the experts and you're in full compliance. If you can pull that off and move forward, I mean, people need to make a living. People need to have a job, have something to do, have their goals and move forward. I'm not going to stop them, but I'm also not going to overly look away, man. We're dealing with something serious.
I agree with that. And you were talking with Dana yesterday, and he cut a promo on members of the media, which I guess would include myself. He called us the wimpiest people on earth covering the baddest sport in the world. Why is he so angry, in your opinion?
Look, it seems that Dana can never win. I mean, nobody ever wants to give him any credit. All he's trying to do is what he said he will do. He's got everybody calling him quietly. People come out publicly and they want to challenge him. Privately, they want to call him and say, man, do I got a job? Do I have something to do? I got a family. How do I plan my year? The only way he knows how to answer that question with a yes is by doing business. That's what he is a businessman. So he goes out and does what he's supposed to do that benefits all sorts of people that count on him. But they all do that private. Then publicly, they want to come out like they're a bigger expert than he is. Man, nobody's pretending to be an expert. They're just pretending that they move life forward. What's wrong with that message? How can that possibly be a bad message?
In terms of Sunday, when it comes to, when I see these events coming on, when it comes to grappling events and competitions overall, like I think the sport and the concept, I think it's so close to breaking out. Like we're seeing you guys try new things at Submission Underground. We're seeing other promotions introducing new ideas. How close do you feel, Chael, that this is from really getting to that next level and getting more along the mainstream?
Mike, I will tell you the big problem with grappling right now. I mean, you've got some big names. This is a star-driven business. We get it. That's what sports are. The big problem that we have is every time a promotion comes along, they want to write their own rules. It's like some kind of an ego thing to the promoter, and he's going to come in and fix the sport, and the sport's better if you do this. You're never going to get on Sports Center. You're never going to get in Sports Illustrated if nobody knows what the rules are. Every basketball court in the world, you put the ball in the hoop, you get 2 points. Every grappling event that comes along, you got to read a manual to try to understand what in the hell they're doing. The rules need to be the rules. Everybody get on board. I see it all the way to a grassroots level at my own gym, where the coaches, 5 guys go over here if you're training for Abu Dhabi trials, and 5 guys go over here if you're doing IBJJF, and 5 guys go over here if you're doing Submission Underground. Pick the damn rule set. Let people complain. You don't have to make it a perfect sport. There's something to be said for controversy. There's something to be said for people not being happy, but there's something bigger to be said for uniformity and understanding of what in the hell we're doing. How else do you do ratings? How else do you crown a champion if you don't have the same rules?
Are you open to jumping on like a Zoom conference call with all the other promoters and ironing this out and trying to figure out a succinct set of rules amongst these promotions so you're all on the same page?
I will tell you, it is so baffling. I by far, and I don't mean this as an arrogant statement, I have the biggest voice in this space. So when I come out and make a statement like that, and the other promoters there's something to it. If you get in the promotion business, that you just have to write your own rules. I mean, there's something like human nature that nobody can seem to get around. Nobody can just go, okay, IBJJF was first, so we're going to go by that if we like a point system, or EBI was here first, and if we want submission only, then we're going to follow that. Like, nobody can pay any kind of respect to it. They have to come in smarter than everybody. They all write too big of checks. They all get too little of attention, and they all go out of business. I want everybody to thrive. If you're grappling and you matter, you exist on UFC Fight Pass. That is a cold, hard reality. But if you don't want to get on board and everybody helps, right, high tide lifts all ship. If you don't want to do that, we'll be the last man standing, and I will make the damn rules.
I know we only have a couple more minutes with you, Chael, but I am a positive thinker. I'm a silver lining guy. I believe everything will happen. Everyone will be safe. That's the road I choose to take. And I got to tell you, I'm a consummate pessimist. Really?
I'm kidding, Mike. Continue.
I was like, listen, I thought we were going to dive into something totally different after this conversation we've had. But I'm sure you've been asked ad nauseum about Tony Ferguson versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. You've given your take on this probably. But in terms of where we're at right now with the coronavirus and things being shut down, et cetera, does it change anything in your opinion and how you see this fight playing out, or not so much?
No, I think the only question right now is where. We've already got the date. We got the opponents. We got what's at stake, which is the world championship between the undefeated world champion. Tony should still be the interim champion. By the way, I watched him win that belt. I've never seen him lose since, but somehow he doesn't. Look, this is Hulk Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior all over again. Both guys are walking in that cage with 12 pounds of gold. One guy's leaving with all the marbles. I love it. We just have to figure that out. It is so interesting to me because you were bringing this up earlier, talking about people that are pushing back on this fight moving forward. There is nothing sports-wise that is more regulated on the face of the planet than mixed martial arts, where you literally have government overseeing sport. There is no safer sport, regardless of the contact, that we have out there. Look, let's find a venue. We've got the date. We got the competitors. We got all of our interests. Let's get this thing done.
Submission Underground 12 going down this Sunday on UFC Fight Pass. The action kicks off at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Always great to chat with you, Chael. I know we'd spoken once before in Bridgeport, Connecticut after an event, and the whole staff kept walking through our shots, and it was kind of a crazy scenario, so I couldn't even release the video, but that was a very cool moment for me. This has been a very cool moment for me as well, and I appreciate your time very much. All the best to you and everyone involved on Sunday, Chael.
Whoa. Now, you asked a lot of questions. Now it's my turn. I only have one for you, and I appreciate your time, but real quick, who do you got? Kevin the King Casey or Craig Jones?
Until Craig Jones actually loses, I cannot pick against him. It's kind of to be the man. To be the man, you got to beat the man, Chael, right?
Respect. That's a good answer. Thanks, Mike.
All right. Thank you, Chael.